All right, guys, today we're going to talk about printmaking. The really awesome thing about the art medium printmaking is that you can make multiples of the same image. So artists will do this type of work if they want to spend less money on an art project, they want to make it cheaper, they want more people to have it, things like that. So you have your master printing plate. Our printing plate that we are using is the styrofoam plate. Couple things. This is our drawing. This is our printing plate. These are prints. Okay? So we're going to kind of go over all of these terms. And we're also going to be using very special oil pastels. Now, these oil pastels are water soluble. That means that when you use them with water, they dissolve. Unlike oil pastels we have used in the past, these are special ones. That way we will be able to pull a print from our styrofoam printing plate. So, to get started, you're going to get your artwork back. Now, some of us have taped it to our styrofoam printing plate. Maybe some of us have not. If you have not gotten a styrofoam printing plate, let me know. I will give you one and a piece of tape so that you can tape it on. When you get your artwork back, you need to check and see how much of it you have actually transferred over. So our drawing, once we transfer it over to the printing plate, we no longer need this drawing anymore. So you're going to check and see what all you still have to do. And you actually have to press really hard when you're taking your image and redrawing it again on your printing plate. So I'm going back and forth using a dull pencil, tracing back over my pencil lines of my drawing so that it transfers over to my printing plate. So this is my drawing. I am tracing so that it goes onto the printing plate. And really you can peek and check, see how it looks, see if you've missed areas. Also, you may want to think about some kind of background design. That looks really good in our print. Now, we did write our name. We did write our name on our drawing, but we did not write it on the printing plate. So if you have not done that, you're going to want to write your name on the printing plate and your class code, whatever that might be. Okay, now I'm done with the drawing. I have traced everything. You don't need your drawing anymore. So that can come off. Now I have a printing plate. I can make multiples. I can make multiple prints now from this printing plate. Drawing, printing plate, going to make prints. Okay? You can take this drawing home. You don't need it. Or you can donate it to me if a student doesn't have one. Okay, now we're going to talk about adding color to this so that we can print it. This is where the oil pastels come in. So you'll have a tray that looks like this at your desk. And oil pastels, actually, they blend really well. So you can layer colors on top of each other if you want. Your fins can be different colors. Patterns look really good on these types of fish. Use one at a time, and then when you're done using it, put it back in the middle of the tray. If any oil pastels get on the floor, they do make quite a big mess. And notice how I'm taking one oil pastel and I'm going back and forth over a different color. You can blend them. They do really well with that. But I'm trying to just get the color in my fish. I'm trying not to get it on the background. There should also be neutral colors in your trays, like white and black, if you want certain areas to have that, like the white of your eyes or the black. Now, any area that we actually drew on, when we print this, will actually stay white. So if you do want your eyes to be white, you can actually just take a dull pencil and push all that in, and that actually will stay white on my paper. But I do want this part to be black. Okay, and I'll keep going here. Not just your fish, but you also want to do the background as well. I'm gonna add some different stuff in here. It will all show up on your printing plate. It should anyway. So if you want to outline certain things, you definitely can do that. Okay, now I'm going to move on to my background. You can make patterns in this as well, or you can just do it all one color, all the way to the edges. Rubbing the oil pastel on, like so. And maybe I'm gonna leave those bubbles blank. Make sure you're covering up all the areas you want to cover up. If not, it will just stay white. Okay, now I'm done coloring my printing plate. We're going to move on now to actually printing this, okay? So, just to review the steps again, we pressed with a pencil and we made our printing plate design. So this is our printing plate. We made the design. Then we colored our printing plate, okay? When you're done coloring your printing plate, then you're ready to print it. For this part, these are water-soluble oil pastels. So with water, they will come off. So we're going to add water to our paper. And if you have any little bit of oil pastels on your finger, it will get on your paper when you do this part. So you want to make sure your fingers are kind of clean. Anytime you do a print, you're going to want to put your name and your class code on the back of it. The front of it, I'm going to get wet with just a little bit of water and a sponge. So you'll have a cup that looks like this at your desk. You're going to want to squeeze out most of the water, leaving it damp. And then you're going to spread the sponge across your paper. And your sponge should look, your paper should look shiny. Notice that. That's perfect. Okay. Now we're going to take our paper, and put my name so it's upright, and we're going to place it onto our plate, okay? Once you place it on there, you cannot shift it or else your print will be shifted and it will look like that. So you have to be really careful when you put your paper on that it does not shift. And we're going to press it on. Now we're going to do a technique called burnishing. And that means you're going to use a spoon, and my hand is holding it so it's not shifting. You're going to use a spoon, the back side, the rounded side, plastic spoon, and you're going to rub the back of your paper all the way the edges, very edges, rubbing without it moving. You do not want it to move. I'm gonna move my hand over here so I can get this side. And some of you may pull your print and it may look hazy. It could mean that you didn't rub it enough. It could mean that you didn't get enough water on your paper. It could also mean that it shifted. So make sure you get the edges. In this one, you can see I didn't get the edges good enough right here, so it didn't pull a print there. So rubbing that back on there, and you can peek and see if you've done it enough, but carefully. So you can peek a corner up and see, is it getting all that ink off that you want, the color off? If not, lay it back down and try rubbing it again to get all of it off. Okay, I think I'm gonna peek over here and check on this side. That side's looking good. All right, I think I've rubbed it enough. It does take probably at least a whole minute of rubbing. Then I'm gonna pull the print. Now, I still have my printing plate there, and this is my print, okay? Every time you make a print, it is an addition. So this is one print. The next one would be 2 prints, okay? So you can make multiple prints. You can make as many prints as you want. You can even clean your printing plate off and make another print. So you can get a baby wipe, or you can get a tissue paper and clean it off. You can even change colors. If you no longer want this yellow-orange fish, you can change colors on it. Clean it off with a tissue paper or a baby wipe. Now, you do have to kind of make sure it's dry before you do it again. But same process, getting your printing plate, coloring your printing plate with oil pastels, and then letting me know you're ready to make a print. I will give you a printing paper because you don't want these to get dirty, and they can. Putting your name on the back of it and your class code, getting it wet and making sure that it looks shiny. So rubbing water all around it to make it look shiny and glossy. If it still looks kind of matte looking, you may need more water on it. You don't want it to be like dripping wet, but it does need to be shiny. Putting that on your printing plate once you've colored it, rubbing it with a spoon, and then pulling your print. And that's what you should get today. Some of us may get 1. Some of us may get 2. We'll see today how many.